Okay, everyone. How you doing? And thank you for being here with me. We're just gonna wait another minute because a lot of people are joining. Yeah. Yeah, we'll wait another minute or two. In the meantime, nice to see you guys. If you can even drop in the box, where are you from? If you're from the States, which state? If you're from another country, would love to hear where you're from. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll give them another 30 seconds because I see people joining almost every second. Great. Great. I'm sure people here from the West Coast, Texas, California. I myself from New Jersey. Nice. New York. Yeah. Great. Very good. Okay. So people are going to join more and more, but I'm going to start. So guys, thank you for joining. That's our first webinar. So hopefully we'll have a lot more. My name is Jake Weinberg, and I'm the owner of Allure Premium Hair Clinic. Okay, and I'm here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. No, I'm kidding. I'm here to talk about hair transplant. So before we dive into the secrets and what to look for and what exactly is hair transplant, I'll start with a personal story. So a few years back, I had a good friend that wanted to do a hair transplant, and he wanted to, know his options. He went to a couple of clinics here in the New York area. He saw that they're very expensive, and he said, "You know what? Maybe I'm going to look in other places." And he did some research. He found a nice clinics in Turkey that offer him a very huge price, and he went to their website. He saw some, good before and after photos, and he decided, okay, I'm going to Turkey. So everything went well until and in Turkey. So from then, everything went downhill, basically. So the driver that was supposed to get there to pick him up didn't come. Then the hotel that promised him to be in the center of town was basically a motel in industrial area next to the clinic. And when he got to the clinic the day after, actually it was a rented room in a hospital. We asked, why is the rented room? They said that the clinic, was packed and they didn't have room. And when he went to see who's going to do the procedure, he found out that the person actually is not a doctor, is a technician. Even to talk to a person, to the technician didn't know one word in English. So even to explain how he won his hairline was a problem. So eventually he did the procedure. And when he came back to the state, he started to get some itchiness, some swellness, and some of it are some things that got to do with hair transplant, and very common, but it was very severe. And he went to doctors here because he couldn't reach anybody in Turkey. And in the end of the day, he found out that the place that he went to wasn't sterilized, and the hair transplant actually ended up not to be a good one. Okay, uh, they promised him 35 hair grafts, and then in the end he got only 2,500, and he ended up a year after going to do another one here in New York. So after he told me all that story, um, I decided that I think I can do it better. So it took me 3 years and a lot of due diligence to find out the best clinics in the world that not only have doctors, okay, but offer um, American standard, American care. And today, I'm happy to say that we have 5 clinics in Turkey and in Mexico that basically offer this kind of hair transplant. And we just crossed the 15,000 successful procedures. So that's basically why Allure was funded. So let's from here just dive right in. Okay. Let's see and go what we're gonna cover today. So the topics we're gonna cover today, guys. So first is, why is hair transplant, the impact of the hair loss stages, where you are, in your journey here, how to choose a top quality clinic, okay, in Turkey, Mexico, in the US, what's the difference? What's the advantage? What's the disadvantage, right? And we're gonna break some myth, and and then we'll understand the cost, the techniques, what's the difference between them, setting some expectations, okay? And from there, we'll talk about the actual treatment and the pre and post operational procedure, and everything else. In the end, I'm going to leave you some time for Q&A, questions and answers. And if I'm not going to answer all the questions, we're going to put in the comment after that basically a number and also an email that you can ask all your questions, and I'm promise I will answer all of it. And I'm also going to share my experience, my personal, because I actually went and did it myself in Turkey. So let's dive in. Okay. Let's go next slide. Great. So the personal impact of hair loss. So I'm sure everybody here have their reason why they want to go through the procedure, right? Some is loss of identity, some is self-esteem or lack of confidence. Some is like changing body type, right? You want to feel younger, right? I'm 45. I want to feel like I'm 25, right? And some of them do it for professional reason. Let's say you're a salesman, and you perform, you see people, a lot of people day to day, you want to make sure that you are presentable. So it doesn't matter what's your cause here. In the end of the day, the goal is to change your look. You want to do it right, and you want to do it once, right? So that's basically the personal impact of hair loss. Everybody have their own reason, but we all have a goal here. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what is hair transplant? So hair transplant is a lasting remedy for male pattern baldness or significant hair loss. What that says, actually, right? So here's the Norwood scale. The Norwood scale, basically, okay, will show you in which stage are you in your baldness, okay? So everybody can relate to his stage, exactly where is he now, right? And some people it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And what I tell everybody is, a lot of people are waiting, and it's very hard to do that step, right? They say, I'm going to do it, not today. Maybe it's the pricing, maybe I don't want to go through the whole procedure. Maybe it's painful. Maybe I'm going to do it next year. From my experience, okay, if you want to do it now, because what happened is we're not getting younger, right? And every day that passed, the situation, your situation basically, not getting better, is getting worse. So, for example, if you, for example, you were approved for 2,000 hair grafts, and we're going to talk about hair grafts in a minute, maybe in a year, you're going to be approved only for 1,500. And maybe you're going to wait 2, 3 years. Maybe you're going to approve for nothing. So you want to do it now, okay? Before it's going to get worse. Okay, next slide, please. Great. Okay. So let's talk about different methods of hair transplant. I know there's a lot of confusion here, and I'm sure there's some people that read about it, and every clinic tell them we're using FUT, FUE, DHI. They don't know what they're talking about, right? So what's good and what's not? So let's start with FUE. FUE or FUE Sapphire. Okay, we in our clinics, we use FUE Sapphire. So FUE basically is an extraction method, and DHI, okay, is implementation method. So even if you do DHI, the extraction will be FUE. So basically, what's FUE? In FUE, they will take a pen, okay? They're gonna punch incision around the hair follicle and take it out. That's the extraction. Everything comes from your donor area. We'll talk about donor area in a minute. Then they're going to rest them to harvest. And after that, they're going to take that pen. They have a magazine and the pen. They're going to put a set amount of hair, and they're going to start extract them and basically going to start implement them, sorry, on the bald area. So that's FUE Sapphire. The meaning sapphire is basically the tip of the actual pen is made out of sapphire. Okay, so that's basically FUE. Now, let's talk about DHI. So, as I mentioned before, the extraction will be in FUE. Okay, in DHI, it's a little bit different because the implementation that you're going to have they're going to use a Choi pen. It's a, basically simple pen, but when they're going to implement it, they're going to implement it one by one, not by magazine. So DHI is more particular method. Okay, it's used more for small transplant. Okay, let's say 1,500 to 2,000, I would say between 1,000 to 2,000 hair graft. Both of them are good methods. Okay, so if you need more than 2,500 grafts, probably the clinic will use FUE because it's faster. But both of them are good, and some surgeons are used to do DHI. Some of them used to do FUE. It doesn't matter. Both of them are good. There's another method that I'm not going to show here. I'm just going to mention it. It calls FUT. So that's an old method. Not a lot of clinics use it today. But if you look at people that did hair transplant 20 years ago or 15 years ago, they basically cut an area of the donor, okay, of the donor area right here, and then start implement them. The problem with that is that FUT leaves a big scar. And that's why, clinics does not use it today. They use FUE or DHI. So that's the difference between both methods. But just that you know, FUE is the extraction and DHI usually is the implementation. Next slide, please. Now, hair transplant treatment. So there's other two hair transplant treatment. I'm sure you probably heard about them. One is the PRP. That's the planet-rich plasma. That's, by the way, included with every procedure that we do. We include a PRP. So what is it? I'm sure some of you probably maybe did it in the States. But PRP is basically when they're going to draw blood out of you, they're going to take that blood and they're going to basically separate the white cells and the red cells. And they're going to use the red cells to marinate it on your scalp and make sure that, when you do the hair transplant, it's basically, it's going to improve the hair density and slow down the hair loss. And it's going to make sure that when the hair grow, it's going to grow in a more healthier way. Some people even have, after the hair transplant, after a year, they want to do another PRP and it's okay. It's not necessary, just that you know. So that's PRP. So hair stem cell is something else. So it's, I would say new to the industry. It's only a couple of years old. And basically, it's usually for people that their donor area, okay, is weak. What do I mean weak? Doesn't have much hair. I'm sure some of you, everybody here have his own situation, but some of you have a weak area of the donor. So with stem cell, they basically gonna extract hair follicles, okay? They're gonna put in a lab and inject them into the scalp to stimulate hair growth. So basically, you have some follicles that are gonna be dead. So if you have, I would say a weak donor area, let's say, I cannot take more than 1,000 hair grafts, but you need 2,000 or 3,000, okay? We'll use hair stem cell. Right now, we use it in Turkey, not so much in Mexico, but it's going to come in the next couple of months to Mexico as well. So that's stem cell. So if somebody talk to you about stem cell, basically you're going to know what is it. Okay. Great. Next one, please. So when you consider a hair transplant, guys, you're going to go to consultation with a doctor, right? What the doctor is going to need? Doctor's going to need your medical history. So for example, it's going to need to know if you have a heart problem, if you have high blood pressure, okay? Some people have HIV. By the way, we had some people that had HIV, but in Turkey, we have some clinics that treat HIV patient, hepatitis A, hepatitis B. So, the doctor will need to know basically all your medical history to see if you're fit. The doctor also going to take pictures. So we need pictures of your head. You see those 5 pictures. Why is that? We need to determine, right, the amount of grafts that you're going to need, right? And also to look at your donor area. So that's basically what's happened with the consultation with the doctor to make sure we approve you, right, for the procedure. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So let's talk about donor area because a lot of people doesn't know what's donor area. So the donor area, as you see in the slide here, is the area between your ears, okay? So that's what determines how many grafts you're going to have, right? How many grafts we can take out. So if you have a weak donor area, there is a couple of options. One option is to say, you know what, that's what I can do. I cannot take more than 1,000, more than 2,000, and just extract them. The other method is if you have a beard, right? Like me. So if you have a beard, you can take hair off the beard. When they take hair off the beard, they extract from the groin area, the groin here, okay? They usually cannot extract more than 800 to 900 grafts, Okay, I saw in some cases maybe 1,000, but that's the max. Your next option will be the stem cell that we talked about. And your fourth option that I don't recommend it, but I know some clinics in the world that does that. They take hair from the chest. Now, hair from a chest, okay, are not good. They're not as thick as hair from the groin or from the donor area. And they usually fall after it. They just like a 50-50 chance, sometimes even 40%. So I would not recommend that. Also, there's a risky donor area that you not take hair from. Why? Because those are areas that the chances that the hair is actually going to succeed in the transplant is very low. So I know some clinics, they don't care and they take from every area, okay? But if you are good clinics and you know what you're doing, you will not take from the donor area. So if somebody tells you, for example, that one clinic will tell you, yes, we can extract 2,000 hair grafts, and the other one tell you we can extract 5,000 hair grafts, no, it's a red flags, right? Because, you know, basically you have a bank here, okay? We cannot take more than that. If we take more than that, we call it in the industry over harvesting. What that mean? It means that they took more hair from the donor area, more than they can take. And what happened is you're going to have bald spots here, okay? And if you're going to have too much hair here as well, okay, sometimes it's going to affect, okay, the bald area, okay? You're going to shed some, okay? And, you know, you're basically going to be bald here. So we do not do that. There's a max that we can take. And if, let's say, in 10 or 15 years, guys, you want to do another procedure, you're still going to have hair here, right? So, you know, if somebody tells you you can take 6,000 or 7,000 hair grafts, that's a big red flags. Okay. I think the biggest one that I saw, I would say it's 5,000 hair grafts, not more than that. Usually we'll go not, even if you have a good donor area, I would not recommend take more than 4,500. Okay. Now let's talk about grafts for a second. What are grafts, right? So from every graft, you can have 1, 2, 3, or 4 hairs coming from every graft. So if somebody tells you that you are approved, let's say for 2,000 grafts, in average, you have 2.5 hair per graft. So for our 2,000 hair graft example, it's about 5,000 hairs. Okay. Make sure you ask about the grafts, now about the hairs. Okay. I'm sure everybody understand about donor area better now. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So before operation, okay, what do we need to do? First, sorry, guys, we cannot drink alcohol a week before and usually a week after. Okay. So no alcohol, do not smoke at least also 7 days before the operation. I would say the 2 or 3 days later, you can, after the operation, you can start smoke. If I were you, I would take another week. I know for smokers it's hard. I used to be a smoker, so I feel you guys, but for that, that will really affect the healing process. So it's a no-no. The next one is not to use any anti-inflammatory medication, you know, Advil, you know, ibuprofen, everything else. Any multivitamins that you're using, you need to stop because they increase bleeding, okay? So that's something that will be very important. Any lotion, you know, that you use on your scalp, the same thing. And any, you know, any medication that you take, okay, you just send it to the team. They will send it to the doctor, and he will tell you if you can use it or not. Okay, so that's for what to do before and after. Next here. Okay, so now we go into some interesting methods. So doctors versus technicians. So guys, in the US, most of the clinics that you're going to go will have doctors there. But I'll give you a small secret here, okay? In Turkey, for example, let's say Istanbul, they have 600 clinics. 80% of them are not using doctors, they're using technicians. So for a doctor, right, you need to go to school, let's say for 7 years. Even if you're a nurse, right, you need to go to school for 4 years. For a hair transplant technician, you can do a course of 3 weeks and you are a technician. And I cannot tell you how many people going to do hair transplant, that performed by technician. Okay, so technician can do some things. We in our clinics we're using only surgeons and sometimes nurses to help them, but not technicians. Okay, also in Turkey, if you're a technician for a couple of years, they call you doctor, but you're not a doctor. Okay, so this is something that you really need to be careful. 80% of those clinics I would not consider. Okay, so there are 50 to 20% that are good. They use doctors. Some of them will tell you they have doctor supervision. And if the doctor is there, is great. Okay, but sometimes the doctor have 6 or 7 ORs and he just come basically just to take a look, maybe for a minute. So you want to make sure a doctor is there all the time. Okay. Also, if it's doctor supervision, and some of them have nurses that help them with the extraction or the implementation, the most important thing, okay, will be the open channeling. So what's the open channeling? So after we extract hair, we need to open the channels here to make sure we have room to implement the hair. As you know, hair will not grow straight, right? It goes left, right, straight, to many directions. If you're not going to know how to open the channels in the right way, okay, your hair is not going to be dense and will not going to look natural. Okay, I cannot stress this enough, guys. Okay, only with a surgeon, doctor. Okay, not technician. I cannot tell you 30% of our business is basically people that went to do hair transplant with technicians and they come back to us to basically fix somebody else's fuck up. I'm sorry for my French here. So, and sometimes you can fix it and sometimes it's irreversible. Okay, so I cannot stress it enough, guys, please. I'm gonna talk about the hair transplant. I see there is how effective is hair transplant and the age and everything. So people have, people start hair transplant from 25, and I saw some people that are hair trans when they're in the mid 60s. Okay. How how many grafts we can take, it depends, but you can do it even if you're 65 or 70. So I think the youngest one that I saw was 19 and the oldest one was 71. Okay, and it affects and it lasts for a lot of years. So it basically to stay, okay, it's going to be like your regular hair. So, but we have to set expectations here, guys. Okay. So for example, okay, if you are bald as a bull, okay, and you expect to have a set full of hair, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. Just to get a set full of hair from baldness, you need probably 10,000 hair graft. Not going to happen. I'm sorry. Even if you do stem cell, even if you take from your groin, that's not going to happen. Okay. Maybe, you have a good, you have a good donor area, but you are very bald. Okay. So maybe you're going to have 70%. So maybe it's not good. You're not going to look like you're 20. Maybe you're going to look like you're 30. And sometimes if you're 50, you don't want to look like you are 20, right? You want to look like you're 30 or 35. So I think that's good. Also, cheap costs, cheap results. Okay. Sometimes, it looks great, but then it doesn't. Okay. So some clinics, we have clinics that specialize, for example, in beard transplant. Some are specialized in Afro-American hair. Okay. If you don't know how to transplant Afro-American hair, okay, especially in the extraction, okay, you can break the graft easily. So you need to make sure that you know what to do. Okay. So that's about it. I see a lot of questions and I will answer them all later. Great. So there are about 600 clinics in Istanbul alone, as I said before. The industry is less regulated, so only a few clinics have usually used a surgeon to perform our procedures, okay? And many clinics, like I said, hire inexperienced staff, recycle medical equipment, okay? For example, take the Choi pen, okay? It costs $300, okay? Some clinics reuse this pen, okay? That's a no-no, and that can lead to a lot of medical complications later, and we see it all the time. So be careful of all those cute price that you see here. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So one of the questions here about the results. So that's hair transplant growth time. So in the first 3 months, you're not going to see so much result. Actually, you're going to see probably some shedding even, and you're going to feel like something happened. Oh my God, this procedure didn't go through, didn't went well. No, that's basically it's natural. It's basically your body basically tell your old hair to shed and a new hair will grow. So it's definitely fine. Okay. After the 4 months, you start to see the results. 6 months, you really see it, and the full result you see after 12 months. The last thing that you're going to see would basically going to be on your crown, okay? Because over there's less circulation of blood. So sometimes it takes more. Sometimes people see it after 14 months. Sometimes people have to see a full-blown hair after 8 months even, but that basically the timeline here. Okay, so set your expectations. Okay, but your hair that had before, you'll have it from the start. Okay, so just that you know. Okay, next please. So that's only such market statistics just to show you how this industry, okay, is growing and what we're expecting globally to have it by 2032. Okay, so if in 15, 20 years to go to hair transplant was a crazy procedure, okay, today is very, very easy if you know how to choose the right clinic. Okay, next, please. Next slide. Okay, so now you want to do a procedure, but you really want to know where to go, right? So we have the US here, we have Turkey, we have Mexico, we have advantage and disadvantage to all of them, right? So let's start with the US, right? US, and I know some people are here from other countries, some from the UK. We work a lot with the UK, for example, in Europe. So in the US, the travel convenience, just around the block, right? You don't have to travel anywhere, right? It's in your own language. Everything is great. The cost much, much higher. Okay. It can range between 12 to 18,000. Basically in the US, they charge per graph, $4 to $5 a graph. Okay. So if you see those advertising, they say, starting price from $3,000 or from $4,000, it's 1,000 graphs. 1,000 graphs is nothing. Okay. So you're going to pay between $10,000 to $18,000 easy. Now, because the procedure is done mostly by the doctor from start to finish, okay, um, usually in the US, okay, I would say the doctor will not perform more than 2,000 grafts. Okay, some of them 25, but usually more than 2,000. And if you need more than that, you're gonna have to come for a second session. And usually it's 6 to 8. You have to wait at least 6 to 8 months because you need to have this, the scalp healed. So that's for the US. Okay. Um, let's go to Mexico. Okay, so Mexico is, in our backyard, right? People here in Texas, California, even in New York, right? 3 hours and you're in Mexico, right? Our clinics, for example, are in Mexico City, in the area of Polanco. I would say it's the Beverly Hills of Mexico City. That's what they explain me here. Um, but a couple of hours and you're there. Okay, the procedure is done by the doctor from start to finish in our clinics and most of the clinics in Mexico as well. They have, high quality, for the transplant service. Uh, it will be much cheaper than the US, but a little bit more expensive than Turkey. Okay. And the last one will be Turkey. Okay. So in Turkey will be the most affordable one. Okay. Even if you're going to choose top surgeon with us, because the cost of living, okay, is much less and there's a lot of competition, right? This is the Mecca for hair transplant. They have the most knowledge of it, okay? Um, but some people doesn't want to travel, okay, to the other side of the world. Some people are scared about it, and it's okay. I personally, I did it in Turkey, but Mexico is amazing as well because I needed more than 3,000 hair grafts. I needed 3,500. So I decided to do it in Turkey and I had lots of fun. So that's the difference. So, in the end of the day, Mexico maybe will be more expensive, but the airfare will be cheaper. And in Turkey, it will be a little bit less expensive, but the airfare will be more. So sometimes it's even out. So in the end, it's your preference. So if you haven't been in Turkey, in Istanbul, very, very nice. I recommend it. If you just want in and out, Mexico is right here. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Next slide, guys. Okay, so in Mexico, I'm just going to do it very fast here. Just, a picture of the clinics here. You really experience top-notch hair transplant, and experience with, luxury treatment without the price tag. You can choose with us a lot of hotels. That's only some of them. Each one of them is in the center of town, and the industrial areas, right? We work with the best one from the Hilton, only 5 stars, okay, and 5-star plus. You want the W Hotel, you want the Ritz-Carlton, we got you. Okay, so we have all the options here. Okay, that's for Mexico. Now, let's talk about the doctors a little bit. Okay, we have two amazing clinics in Mexico. Okay, Dr. Moore and Dr. Guerrero. Both of them did at least 1,500 procedures. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Mora did like 3,500 already. She also a member of the International Society of Hair Restoration Surgery. Okay, just to be a member, okay, you need to have at least 1,200 procedures just to be there. And they do the procedure, like I said, from A to Z. They're the one that's gonna touch you. Okay, so I cannot stress enough surgeon versus, technician. I think that's very important. Um, they're highly experienced. Okay, they have a lot of experience in that. Let's move to Turkey. Okay, so in Turkey, just to show you a little bit about our clinics and how they look, all top luxury. I think in Turkey is the most luxury. Okay, even in Mexico. Um, hotels as well. Okay, they're all in the center of towns, amazing restaurants and shops. And sometimes when you go to do something, like especially a medical procedure, in a foreign country, you want to make sure that everything is taken care of and everything is top-notch luxury, right? Especially American, we want it, we want it nice, done nice, okay? Especially sometimes you go into a third country. So that's about the hotels and clinics here, okay? Regarding the doctors, okay, we can doctors, yes. So we have 3 clinics in Turkey. We have Dr. Malika that I did the procedure there. Okay. As you see, she performed over 10,000 procedures. She does it for, I think, 30 years almost. Um, she's really amazing, amazing. Okay. She's the first and only Turkish doctor who takes part in the International Hair Restoration Surgery Association. So she's the one actually lectured there. Yatkin Bai also does it for more than 30 years. Dr. Mariel as well. They all know what they're doing, the top surgeon, and they're the one actually to do the channel opening. They have some nurses that work with them. Okay, so even if you have 3,500 hair graft or 4,000, and if you need to extract from beer, someone can do everything. We mostly do it in one day. Okay, because of that. And that's the difference between an okay transplant to an amazing transplant. Because in the end of the day, guys, it's not about the amount of breaths. Okay, remember that. Is if in the end, I'm gonna I'm gonna walk in the street, right? And people not gonna notice that I had a hair transplant, it means that it was a good hair transplant. Okay. So, and I'm not going to have any complications, right? So that's the goal here. Okay, next. So why Allure, right? So first, we are American-based company. Okay, we based here in New York. We offer financing, if you need. All the procedure done by world-class surgeons. Okay, we want just the best of the best for you guys. Okay, we want you to have the most smoothest, stress-free experience. That's why our packages include everything that you can think of. We're gonna go over everything in a minute. We take care of the initial consultation, arrange a travel accommodation, set up all the appointments with the clinic. Even if you need to set up a tour or a restaurant or any recommendation, we got it. Okay, we got it. Okay, we have everything for you. And we have a dedicated team. Basically, we have boots on the ground in every country that if something happened, let's say, for example, I don't know, you wait in the hotel for your driver and he doesn't show up after 2 minutes and you don't want to know what's going on. You have some questions. We have people there that's going to take care for you all the time, 24/7. Okay, 24/7. Next. So what do we basically offer, guys? So we offer the 5-star hotel accommodations, transportation in a luxury vehicle. You're the only one's going to be on that van. Hair transplant, a surgeon have at least 1,500 procedure under his belt. The PRP session that I mentioned before. American post-care support. Okay, you have questions before the operation, during the operation, maybe you're in the hotel, maybe you need something. Okay, call us. We got you. And maybe even after, even a year after, you have something, you have a question, and trust me, there's a lot of questions even after. We here for you. Okay. Each one get an aftercare package, to manage the mild discomfort. You get, after the procedure, you get you get some pills, you get shampoo, you get a special pillow that you need to sit with it, sleep with it in the next, I would say, couple of nights, and all taxes and fees. Okay, so it's include everything. Next, please. Next session. Next slide. Okay, so just to understand what basically you're gonna go through, right? So you're gonna come the day before, okay? Not on the day of. The day before you're gonna arrive, doesn't matter, Mexico or Turkey. We're gonna pick you up, okay, from the airport. Once we're gonna send you all the vouchers a couple of days before. We're gonna go through everything. But when you're gonna arrive, you're gonna get a text even 24 hours before, usually in WhatsApp because we're going international. You have a link here to your representative that's gonna pick you up at the airport. Will take you to your van, from there to your hotel. You're gonna check in, and I think that's gonna have a free time on your first day. Usually, if you come from the state, if you come to Turkey, it's probably you're taking the flight a day before you're coming there. Let's say you're gonna fly on a Sunday, get there on Monday morning. You have the whole day to explore the city, Mexico City as well. So take advantage. Like I say, if you have recommendation for anything, we'll provide you everything you need. Second day, you're gonna have breakfast that actually included in every hotel. Breakfast buffet is included. And then from there, our driver, will wait for you. And the hotel will take you to the clinic. And you're gonna go to initial examination in the clinic. That's the first time you're gonna see a doctor. And you're gonna go to consultation with the doctor. The first time doctor gonna see your hair real time, not from pictures. He's gonna talk with you about the procedure. You're gonna draw the hairline if you need. It's gonna take an hour because they measure it like a million times. Okay, but as I say in the beginning, you want to do it right. You want to do it, only once. So, after that, after you're gonna explain you what you're gonna go through. Okay, and you can do medical examination. They're going to draw some blood for the PRP session. Okay, and you're going to go for shave. Okay, they're going to shave all your head. There is some for people, okay, that have long hair. We can do it without the shave. I don't recommend it. Okay, I don't think it looks nice, but usually do it for women. But there is an option for that as well. So that's that. And you're going to go into the procedure, into the OR. And then the procedure usually take between 6 to 8 hours. Okay. You're going to have a break for lunch. They're going to make you some nice lunch. Okay. You're going to have a break in between. I would say the most important thing, the most, I don't know, downside that I see here is it's going to be very boring. Okay, so make sure you bring with you, your charger. Maybe you watch Netflix or something. You're gonna be stand still like that or like that for a long time. So make sure you bring something that's going to entertain you. And then when the procedure is done, okay, the doctor will make sure that everything is okay. Again, they're gonna put a bandage on the donor area and a band here just to make sure they put pressure here, okay, on the forehead. They'll give you some pills if you need it for discomfort, on the night of, and the driver will take you back to your hotel. I recommend on that day to take it easy, even though, to tell you the truth, me personally, after the day I went outside to eat, I felt good. I didn't have any discomfort, but some people feel discomfort. So just take it easy. You have to run, you can walk, you can do everything really. You can really do everything. But I would say just take it easy. If you want You can use room service. We can order in for you from a special restaurant, Sotheby or something. We got you covered, guys. Okay. And hopefully you slept good on that night, right? You wake up in the morning, a nice breakfast. On that day, you can actually have coffee because the day of the operation, and I forgot to mention it, you can't have coffee, okay, because of the shots, with the sedation. So no coffee on the day of the procedure. Day after, even the after the procedure, you can have coffee. So the third day, the day of the wash, the driver will take you back to the clinic, and that's going to be the first time that we actually going to wash your hair. After the wash, you're going to go back to doctor's office. He's going to examine you again, make sure everything went well, okay? And then he's going to go through with you on what's going to happen, what you need to do the first day, how to wash your hair, the first week, the first month, and so on. When you finish that, you're going to get a certificate of completion, okay, from the clinic. And from there, if you want to go back to the hotel, some people, let's say their flight is at night, or let's say you want to extend your trip, we can do that as well. Or if you want to go straight back home, we can take you back to the airport. So that, I would say, the basic itinerary. Next slide, please. So that's, just to show you, that's in Turkey for one of our patients and exactly what he had. This Canadian guy. So basically, that's the van they'll take you at. You go to the clinic. You see, they're going to draw the hairline, make sure everything is good. Here, they're going to shave you, take some pictures exactly, and going to start to. That's the shots. You see that air pressure? That's needle-free shots. Okay. I'm going to explain exactly what's going on. After that, they'll send you back to the hotel. The day after, that's the day of the wash. Gonna wash your hair nicely. Put here, do some other pictures, make sure everything is good. And that's it. You're back. So, and that's the before and after. So look what a huge change he got, and look how natural he looks right now. Okay. I don't think he looks like 10 years younger. Okay. So that's the end result. That I would say 9 months after. So, and that's my experience, guys.
Is that your experience with the hair transplantation?
Oh my God, that was really a journey. Okay. As the owner and the founder of Allure, I sent thousands of people to Turkey, Mexico. I sent, telling people to do this transplant all the time. But when you do it yourself, you really get to feel, what everybody's feeling, okay? And I'm not talking about, from the transportation, from somebody to come and, and pick you up and greeting you, take you to the hotel. The whole experience was top notch, really top notch. So I really, now when I'm going to explain to people, basically how was it? I think I can explain a little bit more also about the emotional side of it, okay? Because this is something that not a lot of people are talking about. When somebody is actually trying and thinking about actually hair transplant, they're doing their research, okay? Some don't, some yes. And usually they have two things that will usually driven them. One, I think, will be the price, okay? And second, basically the quality, okay? And I think we bring everything together, okay? When you said, did you have something affordable?
it's a combination if it's competitive price and high quality. Okay, and we did so many. It took us so many years to do the due diligence between the best clinics in the world just to bring the consumer, okay, really not only the best doctors, a worldwide award-winning doctors, the whole experience, okay, of the back end of it. So the hotel was fantastic. Okay, breakfast was amazing. So, and I'm coming from the States that usually breakfasts are not that good. Even in Europe, breakfasts are okay. In Turkey, breakfast was top notch. So, um, generally speaking, I think it was a very good experience.
What was your kids' like?
That's a good question. People usually don't think about their fear, especially, as me when I'm talking to clients, we always talking about the advantage, but it's good also to talk about the fear. Okay, so, when you considering to do something like that, there's like three major, I would say, facts. So one of them is, hey, is this actually going to work? Okay, I'm going through this whole procedure. Okay, I'm going to a different country. I don't know anybody there. Okay, and they're going to come pick me up. Are the doctors going to be good? Are the communication between the doctors, okay, and the staff will be good? Even the hotel, are they going to accommodate me? Okay, what's going to come after? I'm going back home and ask some questions. And what kind of complications, right? I'm going to have after it. So I think that was something really, big that, even as the founder and, I really know the procedure, but now I would say discovered from firsthand. So that for me was huge. For me personally, the biggest fear, and it's funny to say, but a lot of people don't think about it, actually are the shots, okay, before the procedure. And surprisingly, I almost didn't feel it. Okay. I was sleeping half the time, and the doctor was smiling, and the crew over there was so welcoming and smiling and everything. So um, they gave me a special potion basically to drink. I felt so good. So for me, it was a really, an amazing experience. Even after surprisingly, okay, I thought I'm gonna feel like dizzy, or I would like to go to the hotel and sleep. It's think about, it's an operation. I felt amazing. Even the day after, and now even today, the day after, and after the wash, I feel completely fine, 100%. Feel I can do everything.
Okay, guys. So, and that was the webinar. So I see you have a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to answer a few of them. So complication and side effect. Okay, so side effect. So you can get some swelling in your eyes sometimes after operation because of the shots and everything, and swelling a little bit here. The pressure from the shots sometimes will last a couple of days, okay, and that's perfectly okay. Like I say, in the first 3 months, first 2 months not going to look that good. Some people put a hat. I'm sorry. I recommend not to put a hat at least in the first week to 10 days. After you can put basically a hat, okay, but put it really, really, really carefully. And after that, you can go with I had no problem. So, in terms of successful procedures, we have 99.5 successful procedures. Okay. Now, people are going to ask me, what happened to the other half percent? So, we had some people that actually came and got cold feet and said, I don't want to do it. And there was one person that I would say lie about this medical questionnaire. It didn't say he's got a high blood pressure. and and he didn't take his medication. So in the end of the day, we couldn't do nothing about it. So please make sure that you fill up your medical history very good. Okay. Regarding pricing, okay, I'm sure everybody here is on the price as well. Me too. And that's why we send you, by the way, as promised, right? The $500 coupon, okay, and also a link. Okay, so if you wanna basically fill out the questionnaire and take pictures of your head, there is a link to everything. Usually what happened after it, we send it to the clinic. The doctor basically take a look, do examination, send it to us for the approval, and then we go after everything. The different pricing between Mexico and Turkey. So the price in Turkey for that procedure will be 3,400, okay, all inclusive. The only thing that's not included is the airfare. Okay, the airfare you're gonna have to pay yourself. But we have a $500 right now promotion because we want to share the love between everyone, and we want to make sure that we open more clinics. So right now, because you were in the webinar, you get a $500 discount on that. So the price for Turkey will be 2,900. Okay, like I said, if you need financing, we can offer that as well. The price for Turkey is $4,000. Okay, and with a discount will be 3,500. Okay, so if you want to extend more days, we can do that. If you want to bring with you a partner, right? You want to bring your wife with you or a friend or something, we can accommodate you as well. Not a problem. What else? We put all the vouchers in your email. Now, what else I can put here? Aftermath, we had some other things. So I'll tell you, there is a lot more, but we are running out of time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a look on all of your basically all of your messages, and I'm promise you that I will get back to you with everything. In the end of the day, we want to see you in our clinics. We want to make sure that you're happy. Okay. We want to make sure that you refer us to your friends and family. Okay. And we may make sure that when you consider something like that, you're not waiting. Okay. So I'm not talking about a month or two, but you're not waiting 6 months or a year, because sometimes that can, affect the donor area and, the amount, of grafts that you're going to be basically approved for. I hope what I basically reveal here and explain you understand a little bit more about hair transplant. Okay, we're going to send you also the recording of the webinar, that if you forgot something and you didn't write down, you're going to have everything recorded. Okay, and we wish to see you in our clinics, and we wish for you a great 4th of July. And if I can see all of you changing your look forever, okay, you made my day. So thank you so much for everybody here. Okay, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Okay, Jenica, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for joining the webinar. Jake, thank you so much. That's a really very informative webinar. You know, and as we promised about the 500 voucher, we already sent it to your email, and that also includes the link for the free consultation. All you need to do is to answer the medical questions, send your photos, expect for a call within the next 24 to 48 hours with the result. And if you have questions, concern, you can, send us a message in all social media platform, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. We also have email and phone number posted in the comment section. And we have customer service representative who will going to answer your concerns. So everyone, happy 4th of July. Thank you so much.